TCT presents Public Report, a look at the issues and events of importance to our viewing area. Now, here's your host.
Hello, welcome to TCT Public Report. I am your host, Richard McCorkle, and today I have a very, very important organization here, and it's called Able to Serve, and I am lucky I get three guests today. I have Carlton McDaniel, I have Becky, and I have Joseph. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Carlton, what exactly is Able to Serve?
Able to Serve is a day program for adults with disabilities. We have 31 participants right now. Ages range from 20 to 64. Okay. Education is involved with touchscreen computers. We have a washing machine and dryer, so we have life skills, right. Social skills. We have a lot of going in the community and handling ourselves as a mature adult. Right. And then we also do community service, which is one of our big, God has enabled us to serve, and so we show as our Creator that we have those abilities, and we show the community what we can do. Absolutely.
Well, that's a whole bunch there. So let's start with sort of educational resources. Tell me a little bit about that as far as what you guys provide.
We received a grant from the Rotary Foundation, which allowed us to put touchscreen computers. We also had a grant that allowed us to put the same software, educational software, that the public school uses.
I see.
So we can actually plan lessons. I have 3 retired teachers, so I have 94 years of teaching experience in my building.
Wow.
So we're doing a lot of the building blocks of not only learning, but going out and experiencing it in the community also. So one day they would learn about how things grow and maybe strawberries. They would go out and pick strawberries, and then they would come back and take a recipe to make something with the strawberries. So a lot of it is a follow through, making sure that we're each time we're teaching, we're building on something we started with.
That's amazing, and you can see sort of how the whole process works from beginning to end. You have
Exactly.
a whole way of looking at it. And how long is Able to Serve been around?
I started Able to Serve in May of 2003.
Wow.
That's when we got our 501c3 designation, and we went about 3 or 4 years of we had a wheelchair accessible van, and we picked up people and took them to doctor's appointments.
I see.
But God kept leading us into a position of saying, I also did training for churches that had someone who had special needs.
Okay.
What I realized is that Monday through Friday, there needed to be a Christian influence. There needed to be other things going on other than just a Sunday school class that a church offers. So we kind of began to move outside of the church and said, instead of a church ministry, we're a mission field. So now we're bringing in people, and now they're connecting to churches through us, which is what it was meant to be. I mean, it's obviously God's timing to make it that way.
And I have to ask, Carlton, what started all this in your heart to do this?
Well, I have a sister with special needs she's 13 months older than I am.
Okay.
So Jerry was my teacher.
Okay.
I have a father who's a pastor, so I'm an ordained pastor.
Okay.
And I started working with the state convention, and then I moved to Lifeway in Nashville, Tennessee, and was their national consultant for working with churches and teaching them teaching techniques, family dynamics. And I realized that was when it really became apparent that the church model was a lot about teaching Sunday school, but I also saw people who had great voices, would be a great volunteer, an usher, and they were not being ministered to in a way that was letting them serve back.
Wow.
And so the common saying with me was, I don't understand, churches can't see that they are able to serve.
Yes.
So when this whole idea of a nonprofit came along, it was we needed to show the community and the church, the whole faith community and our community in general, that we're able to serve. And so God, as our Creator, created us with abilities to serve Him.
Wow.
So.
Now, Becky, what is your feelings about Able to Serve?
I started Able to Serve in October of 2011. I just really enjoy coming to a place where I'm accepted and friendship, and I just enjoy the outings that we do, educational outings and bowling and.
Bowling, that sounds fun. Now, what about the educational outings? What does that entail?
We, this past Christmas, we actually went to the governor's mansion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To see how decorated, so that was neat.
The first time.
Then we also went to, there's a lady that, there's a participant that we have, her aunt organizes stuff for us. So we went to the vet school at NC State and got to see neat things.
Yeah, I've never been over there. I only heard about it.
It's very interesting.
Well, we also went to the climatology school, so we were able to see hurricanes and how things reacted. So we've done several trips. Each year we go to the rock quarry a different quarry.
Okay.
And they actually take us down in and show us the different rock and how that works. So that's been kind of an annual trip that we take. But we do a lot of businesses and going shopping and interacting with the community, so that most of our folks have interacted with the community with their family. And so there's a time period where you want to get, as an adult, you want to go out with your peers.
Yes.
And you want to handle yourself with your peers and not necessarily your family.
Absolutely.
So we extend the family by going out and doing it with our friends. We call it Able to Serve Family. We
Able
don't.
to Serve
It's the
Family,
family. It's not the friends. It's the
I
family.
gotcha, I gotcha. And Joseph, what's your feelings about it? How long have you been involved?
I started doing Able to Serve last year,
Oh, last year, okay.
and we started back. Been feeling God calling me to do coming in Able to Serve after high school,
Okay, okay.
and
Joseph's got an incredible voice.
and
Oh, wow.
and I love to sing.
Okay,
loves to
all
sing.
right.
And I've been, so since I came in to Able to Serve, I've been loving to sing.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do 100 and something bags every single time.
Okay.
If all the schools are in place, we do 144 Backpack Buddies bags a week.
Now, what is a backpack buddy? What is
It's
that?
children who are disadvantaged, and they send them home a meal or something that's a sustainable something, so that they can go home on the weekend. So they get it on Friday,
Okay.
and it's kind of a weekend thing. So it usually has things like spaghetti and noodles, and I think one week you have.
And
How
you
come
have
you are experts at this.
And you have corn and like spaghetti and meatball,
That sounds
like
good.
spaghetti and you have like green beans and you have like the menu change like
Absolutely.
once a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
We kind of did a twist, and this is how we do the adaptations, is that we had numbers of things that were, each one was a number, and then we decided that it was easier for us to understand the colors. So we have our weeks in colors so that we don't worry about, is it week one on week, we know our colors that go there.
Gotcha, okay.
We do it in partnership with the Rotary Club in Garner, so they raise the funds, and then we go do the shopping, we do the inventory, we do the packing, and the 7 schools come to us. So we do all the logistics work, and we're actually working with the food bank too. We got recognized in appreciation from the food bank a couple of months ago for the number of Backpack Buddies we're doing as opposed to what most people are doing.
Right, and they need, the food banks need the resources just as much.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure
Absolutely.
this is a blessing to
Yes.
them.
We do community service may entail doing another nonprofit's goodie bags for the golf tournament.
Okay.
We go to several churches and we've cleaned the pew pockets and put the packets like they want.
Wow.
And there the
Yes.
church that we're at, that we're in partnership with, we actually do their bulletins on Friday so that their part-time secretary doesn't have
Right.
to come back. So we fill in a lot of gaps, where we're needed, not just
Absolutely.
making things to be busy,
Yes.
things that are
and,
needed.
and I love the fact, it's so community driven. You guys are community driven and not just trying to be a part of community. You're the resource for the community,
Yes.
which I love.
Yes.
So you mentioned a golf tournament.
Yes.
What is that all about?
Well, we have 2 different fundraisers, and we try to keep our fundraisers narrowed down so that our attention stays on our program. If you're fundraising all the time, you can't do your program.
Okay.
So we have a benefit, a spring benefit.
Okay.
That's our largest. We have about 350 people that will come to that, and it's a big celebration night. We raise, the money that's raised that night actually pays the half of the participant fees. We do have participant fees, but it pays less than half of what it costs.
Okay.
So we raise that money so that the participant fees stay realistic and affordable for every family that would come in. We also do assistance for some of our families. And I'm proud to say that we're such a family ministry that we've had family members who had cancer or lost a job, and they, until they could get back on their feet,
Right.
there was nothing. They could keep coming. There was no pay.
Wow.
So we've always done things that says, the family, we're supporting the family. We're supposed to build up the family.
Right.
And we're really an extension rather than being parents. We're just extension of them becoming mature adults and understanding how to be independent.
Absolutely. And Becky, what does it say on a Monday? What does your day look like on a Monday?
Well, we usually do a devotion in the morning,
Okay.
and then we either, if we go out, we either go bowling or backpack buddy shopping.
Okay.
And then we do lunch at 12 o'clock, and then we usually have games
Okay.
like Uno or
Oh yeah.
other games. So.
Usually about 2 o'clock. It's
Okay.
been a strenuous day. I mean, they come in and they're moving. We're really proud. We just hired a young lady who had graduated from Campbell Divinity School.
Okay.
So her main focus is to continue to have Christian curriculum going. She creates the devotions, the Bible studies that are along with education. So we're thinking that it's very holistic, that we're working with education, we're working with them serving. They do a lot of decision making. We give them a lot of decision making together.
Yes.
Where does this need to go from here? And I always joke and say Able to Serve was doing good things until we turned it back over to our participants, who now we're doing great things.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I think there's and correct me if I'm wrong, but there seems to be sort of a gap. I think we have a lot of assistance in this area as far as going through school, but once we turn 18, it kind of stops there.
Yes.
Am I correct in that?
Yes. There's a lot of emphasis put on preparing a child with special needs and getting them up as far as they can go, and then they fall off the cliff. There's been a lot of changes in government funding for compensatory ed, things like that. So we have no graduation date.
Yes.
It's your family and what your goals are, so we want them to be all that they want to be. And if it's a
Yes.
job, we want to help them get a job. If it's to be a part of our program and continue to learn, and then they become mentors and leaders to the
Right.
folks who are coming in.
That's awesome.
So we would never be
awesome.
able to handle things with just our volunteers and staff if these guys weren't such great help to each other.
Now, Joseph, you just said you're kind of just out of high school for
Yeah,
a
I
few years.
came out of high school, and I wanted to like to have a place to come to, and Able to Serve to me
Yes.
like brought me in, and Able to Serve is my home now,
Oh, that's awesome.
and treated me like as one of their own,
yes.
and I said I wanted to find a place to be at, and I wanted, like, instead of going to actual college, I wanted to have somewhere to be, and I actually wanted to learn something new every single day.
That's awesome. That's a great mental focus. I mean, to just learn something every day. I mean, it's what life's all about. And Becky, what are some of your goals that in the future, what are you looking to do or to grow in?
One of the reasons I like Able to Serve is because even though still learning skills that we may have learned in school, some of them we need to relearn, which is good. I just like the learning aspect of Able to Serve and serving the community.
That's awesome. Now, how many people are on your staff, Carlton?
I have 5 staff members. I have
Okay.
3 three-quarter-time teachers that are retired.
Okay.
And then I have 2 full-time staff members aside from them. The wonderful thing that I think with the curriculum that I'd love for them to know is that when we have people who stay in our program year after year after year, there's no book. We plan the curriculum. We have an intense time of planning to say, where are folks at, where do they need to be?
Okay.
So instead of someone coming for a course and going home and we teach the same course to a different set of people,
Right.
we have people year after year. So we're challenged to make sure that we're growing them, that we're cognizant of what they need.
Yes.
And then we do a lot of interaction with the parents to say, what are some things at home? How can we help support them at home? But the
Yes.
big thing has been their integration in the community. Our goal is that if they're not going out learning something in the community's coming to us and
Okay.
teaching us. So we have a lot of speakers that come in, chair yoga. We do chair yoga there. We've had business leaders who came in and talked
Wow.
about the industry that they were in.
Okay.
So we do a lot of those kind of hands-on things. We do the police and the fire to talk about safety.
Right.
But it's a challenge for our teachers to make sure that each year the same person that stays in the program isn't going through the same thing.
Same thing. So really the curriculum's based on the participants? Is that what we're
Well,
looking at?
it's there. Have several educational sites that are web-based. So there's some things that they can plan online and have folders for our guys, and then they can open up their folders, which really gives an individual approach to it.
Right.
And then we have some things that we're learning as a group so that folks can help each other. You know, I may be very good at one part and you may be good at another, and we join together and we make a great thing out of the two.
Right.
So,
And you're based out of Garner.
yes,
Okay.
out of Garner.
Do you just serve the Garner area, or does it go as far as it can go?
Well, Becky's from Apex.
All right, Becky. Apex. All right.
Raleigh for Joseph.
Okay.
We have had people as far as Wake Forest. We have several people from Johnson County.
Okay.
So we really don't have but a couple that are just Garner. Most of it is the surrounding area.
Right.
Yes.
And you were telling me the other day, we were having a conversation about you took them through how to go through buying a car experience.
Yes, we went
Which is tough for anybody,
yes,
really, to be honest.
we went to the local Jeep dealership.
Okay.
And we had them choose. We thought Jeep was kind of the generic thing, and we had them choose 3 different Jeeps for us: a very econo model, kind of an elegant middle of the road, and then the big gruff, big tire kind of thing.
Right.
So the salesman took us in the different points of what would be buying it, what would you look for, and he had the sales pitch, and we warned him from the beginning that if he wasn't a good salesman, we'd fire him and ask for somebody else.
Okay, right.
So there, we went to financing, and we learned about saving our money and paying our bills,
Okay.
and taking care of things that we buy. And then we went to the mechanic shop, and they showed us Jeeps that had been damaged and things where they weren't taken care of. So we went the whole process through. The great thing was the salesman, with tears in his eyes at the end, he said, best day ever. I just could not. And he was very excited about the questions they asked.
Okay.
And very intrigued about it, because we had people who could not get up in the large Jeep with the big tires.
Right.
And their comment was, my mom could get in there.
Wow.
They didn't say, I can't get in there.
Right.
So I think there's a perception that folks with disabilities are tuned into what they need.
Yes.
And they're much more compassionate about what other people need than we
Absolutely.
realize. So we enjoyed that. We haven't done that. We need to do that again, because
Well, let
it
me
was
know.
just a
Let me
fun-
know when you're doing that, because I need some help in
Yes.
that area as
Well,
well.
they give us one to take home. No.
Yeah, we had to drag Carlton off of one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
took
wow.
a picture by a few of them and said, Christmas is coming. Y'all
Yes,
just
that's
get-
right.
yes,
That's right.
yes.
Wow. So, what are the things that are on the horizon, right in front of us, with Able to Serve? What are some of the goals here?
We're currently renovating the upstairs. There's
Okay.
a upstairs at our building, and that will allow us to open up a 4th classroom. In that 4th classroom, we'll probably get 12 to 15 more people,
Okay.
which will max that building out.
Okay.
But that's in concert with everything moving upstairs to allow us to either move into an after-school program for kids, since we have everything there,
Right.
or we would plant this program in another town close that didn't have anything like this, a day program at all. So
Wow.
those are the things in there. I didn't mention that we have a 21-foot greenhouse that we operate year-round.
Okay.
So that's there. We have a picnic shelter, and we have a lot of fun events at the picnic shelter.
bet,
We're right next door to the park.
Okay.
So there's a lot of times that we can go to the Veterans Memorial. We meet a lot of people who are walking in the park who now they know us, and we get to talk to them. So that's a fun thing about the location. And the Lord of Life Lutheran Church has been one of the best partners we could have ever asked for.
And that's who you're renting
Yes,
the current
they
building
are
from?
amazing
Yeah.
people. It's our family, our church.
Oh, that's great.
They have been wonderful to us.
That's wonderful. So, Joseph, what's your favorite thing to do at Able to Serve?
My favorite thing, I have so much so much. If I had to choose one,
You have to choose one. Yes.
if I had to choose one, it would be like doing like backpacks with Able to Serve, because
Okay.
it's like, because most kids don't get food at all, because
true.
if it was me not getting no food, like I would not. If I was those kids in their footsteps, I would rather be getting food with food if I was them.
Yes.
Joseph actually came to the program already understanding Backpack Buddies. His
Okay.
church already did it.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
the great thing for him was he actually got to shop for it. He'd
Okay.
always had the food there.
Okay.
But he got to go back and say he saw the whole process from
Yes.
getting the food,
Right.
knowing what was on the list to pick out, which is a big thing.
Yes.
How many things do you pick up, and how are they packaged?
Right.
So he was excited to go back and tell his church that he'd actually shopped. It was
Yes.
more than just doing the packing and leaving it.
Right.
But he actually got to shop, and they load the cars of the volunteers who come to pick it up.
Okay.
So it's first-class service from beginning to end with us.
No kidding. No
Yes.
kidding. And did this all, when this first started, did the whole sort of, I guess the flow of what you were going to do, did this kind of evolve over time?
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. We started with a day that was a service learning program, which we called was a day of education, speakers, and then we had a respite day, which was, we had air hockey and we had all kinds of fun things to do.
Okay.
It was interesting that the respite day would not grow, and the day that we had speakers and educational things, we were busting through the seams. So we realized we needed to just put everything together and make it 5 days a week.
Okay.
And so you got that, parents got that break, but also we were doing something more worthwhile than just playing or watching movies all day.
Right.
And our folks they want to be busy. They want to be learning.
Yes.
They want to be out in the community. So that was kind of the home run hit when all that came together. But it evolved over probably 6 years it took where it really started taking shape. And I think we're one of the most unique programs that are out there. Few will go as far as we go, do the things we do, because in the logistics side, we have to scout it first, find out where bathrooms are, if there's steps.
Wow.
So we do a lot of logistics ahead of time. There's a lot of coordination about how long we can be there,
Yes.
things like that. So if it's hot, if it's outside, what do we do?
Right.
So we do a lot of the logistics that I understand why other programs maybe don't do that.
Yes.
Go as much.
Well, and you mentioned something earlier about if you're going to be concentrating on the financial aspects of it, you kind of lose focus if you're always going to be worried about
That's
that.
right. That's right.
What I love about this, what I really think is a move of God here, is the fact that it's serving to serve, to serve, to serving to serve. I mean, it's brilliant. It's like a win-win-win situation, and not just. So what can a person like myself get involved with? I'm not really an educator. I'm just a normal dude. What can I do to help out able to serve hands-on?
Our families, our volunteers are not teachers.
Okay.
The teacher orchestrates everything, and the relationship building that we do means that you come in and you be a great friend and encourager. So
Okay.
we ask our volunteers to pull back, let our guys do what they do, and if they can pair up and do the assignment, it's better for them to do it.
Okay.
So you're an encourager, you're that kind of, that's your role rather than being an assistant teacher
Okay.
in there. It is important to know that we're a ministry that doesn't accept government funding.
Okay.
We have never accepted government funding, and it's not because we're anti-government. It's because we want to be accountable to our community, and the faith community is our largest donors,
Okay.
largest group of donors. We don't have huge donors of a few. It's a lot of people in the community who support us. So we say that we're accountable to God first and to
Okay.
our community, and then nothing can change. And especially moving into Bible studies and things like that, we don't have to offer alternatives. We don't have to worry that anything would be looked upon and say, we'll take your funding
Right.
if you don't. So we've been very fortunate. God's been good.
Yes.
That everything that we raise is community fund. We don't have any other. We have small grants that come in and things that help us, but we never accept a grant that has any strings on it that says that we can't be a Christian organization and have the cross. Obviously, with the logo as big as it is, having a cross in it,
Right.
we don't hide our faith.
Yes.
We don't hide it.
Yeah, that's good, and I guess that's one of the roadblocks that you
Absolutely.
would have.
Absolutely.
you know.
We have looked at grants where it said if you're in the faith community, you can't get a grant from
Why
us.
do you think that is? They're so anti-faith about that.
Well, I think some businesses, it's a corporation, so they're just looking for things, national things that meet a need. So I always say our folks are not helpless. Helpless is in a crisis. Our
Yes.
folks just need help, and that's much more of an investment in people.
Okay.
We're not going in and fixing something while you're down.
Right.
Our folks, we're continually build them up. So it's not our place. This is not a helpless organization.
Right.
It's help. There's nothing wrong with something that happens and Red Cross coming in and the other ones. That's a whole different idea.
Yes.
Ours is that it's an investment in people. It takes time for it to flourish. It's not a quick throw at money. It's
Right.
that kind of thing. So I think that's been how God's blessed it. Is that it's a lot of input. Our families are very involved.
Yes.
There's a lot of the faith community involved, and so we really are kept on task.
Right.
With all that are involved. You can't hide what you're doing, if that many people are coming in and out of your doors.
Yes.
You just can't. So we always say, you drop in, make a visit. Our
Right.
parents are always in and out eating lunch.
Okay.
It's not a closed program.
Right.
They have friends that come in and eat with them, so it's a very community-oriented even in that way.
Right.
We have 2 dances that we
Okay.
have in Wake and Johnston County, and both of those are for the special needs community. So we put on it in partnership with 2 churches.
Wow.
So that's a fun thing where our friends who don't come to the program can actually come and do something with us and then have a night of real fun dancing and food.
Absolutely. So you encourage relationship building
Absolutely.
and so forth
Absolutely.
like that. That's excellent. So Becky, what's your plans going to be for tomorrow? What you got on the plate tomorrow?
Well, I'm not sure what we're going to do at Able to Serve tomorrow, but
Okay.
I go to Able to Serve on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
So, and Able to Serve is the highlight of my week.
I bet it is. And what do you think your strengths are with Able to Serve?
Well, we used to have a newspaper.
Okay.
And I actually used to be the editor of the paper, so I would get the participants would write articles, and I would get them all together and type them up and send them to the lady that does all that. So
this is our social media whiz kid. Right?
Okay, yeah, all right.
Any connection to social media, she's got it.
Okay.
And there is very few posts that do not have something about Able to Serve. So she is our social media whiz.
That's great. And I guess that's changed from just a newspaper. It's so much more broader now. I guess it's worldwide now because everybody can go on. Do you have a Facebook page and all that kind of stuff? I
absolutely.
bet. So that's great. So what are some things that we can volunteer in? Like I said before, like if you said it doesn't have to be a teacher.
Right.
Can I come in and help with moving boxes around? Or?
Absolutely. We have people who are in the day program, so they're actually in the classrooms. I have volunteers that come in and help with accounting.
Okay.
I have volunteers who come in and help with the vans and making sure that they're serviced and things like that. And we actually have in our lease, we keep the property. There's 8 acres there. So we have volunteers that cut the grass for the church, and they helped us with our lease by us taking on the grounds.
Absolutely.
So it's been almost anything you could think about with a business. You know, we have those needs, and a lot of that, I call it also stuff, which is very important.
Yes.
We have all kinds of volunteers we need to put in there. So it's an easy place. You kind of get drawn in, even if you volunteer to move boxes. You're going to end up in the class just because it's such a loving place. I mean,
yes.
It's an amazing place. And one of the mothers told me, she said, when I walked in to visit, because we always start with a visit. We don't talk about any logistics of paperwork or whatever till you visit a day.
Okay.
And whatever we're doing, they do. So it's bowling, they go bowling with us. And she said, it was as if I walked in the door and I'd walked in home. And I thought that was a wonderful compliment for us.
Absolutely.
I walked into home. So these guys are very, very loving and very, very accepting of folks. And they are very caring when you come in as a new person to wrap around you and help you understand what we're doing. Because it's kind of an anxious time when you start in something new. For everyone it
Absolutely.
is. But they are great ambassadors. I call them ambassadors.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Joseph, Becky, and Carlton. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And I encourage you to check out that Able to Serve. It is a good thing to do, and we look forward to seeing you next time on TCT Public Report.
This has been Public Report. Public Report discusses the issues of interest and importance to our viewing area. Please remember that the views expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of TCT or the station.
Hi, I'd like to recommend to you this season that we are in that because of the trust level between Christians, we need to build it up. Paul told the church at Philippi that they needed to choose a yoke fella. A yoke fella walks closely with you as he is yoked to Jesus Christ. This is a true yoke fella. God bless you. Shalom.